Welcome to the Indie Horror Junkie podcast, where nightmares meet the light, shadows entwine. Tonight we dive deep into the horror scene, with Rod and Ricky in the asylum, Amy living the dream. Hear the howl of the night echo in your mind, where the rebels of fright, leaving no soul behind. Movers and shakers, we've got the scoop. Filmmakers and actors, they're part of our group. Indie horror lovers, gather all around, bringing the edge, where true tales are found. With every wound that bleeds, a story to tell. Join us, laugh, where the haunted begins.
Good evening, Junkies. We got Rotting Ricky and Lunatic Lance in the house. How's it going, guys?
What's happening?
Another week, another night of indie horror, episode number 114.
Crazy.
Once again, we have some amazing guests lined up for you tonight. The Addams family. So excited. Can't begin to tell you how excited I am about this. I'm going to try not to fan out, but you'll know why soon, because they are movers and shakers on the scene, and we can't wait to have them on and get more into their newest film, which is now streaming on Shudder. But first of all, we have some Indie Horror Junkie news. We have our Indie Horror Junkie Film Festival coming up at MegaCon. That's going to take place from March 19th to the 22nd. Submissions are officially closed, and we're going to be notifying all of the filmmakers and announcing their films on January 31st. So just a few days away from that. We also have some incredible panels lined up for you guys. We have some pretty big films coming in. They're going to be our special screeners, cast and crew. We have people flying in from Vegas and New York and Atlanta and bringing everybody in to screen their film. And, you know, hang out, panels, questions, Q&A, filmmakers, come and network with us, hang with the Junkies. It's going to be an incredible time. I know you guys are excited. And so
I'm super excited. I can't wait.
Another year, we're doing it again. We have issue number 21 of the Indie Horror Junkie magazine now available on our website. Look at that right there. We have Mother of Flies, and we're going to get deep dive into that, you guys, tonight. So if you haven't yet, head over to indiehorrorjunkie.com, get your digital or physical copy of this magazine. Check out all of the other amazing indie horror creatives that we have lined up for you to check out. Their films that are streaming, upcoming films, artists. There's just so much going on, and we're just honored and humbled to highlight everything that's happening right now. So get your copy, support indie horror, and support these indie horror creatives and filmmakers. We want to give a nice little shout out to Tarot Cards. We could do that. If you haven't checked them out yet, they're on Google Play and Apple, or you can head to tarotcards.com. Free virtual horror film cards. They're trading cards. It's fun. They're highlighting what's going on in the indie scene for movies. You're going to see films. You're going to see actors. It's interactive, and Tarot Cards are a huge supporter of us, and we're a huge supporter of them and what they do. So thank you, Tarot Cards. Check them out. And of course, if you guys want to head over to our YouTube page and like and subscribe Indie Horror Junkie podcast, show some love for the Junkies. And we're bringing it to you every Wednesday live, new guest. And we've also got a special little announcement tonight. The Inn. There we go.
Look at that.
The Inn is now streaming on Amazon Prime. This is close to our indie horror hearts. I was a producer on this film with Greasy Boys, so shout out to Kevin and Sloan. There's so many Central Florida talent filmmakers and actors involved in this project. So of course, we're going to show you guys a little teaser tonight on that. I threw Rick in the film. You might see me in it. But anyways, congratulations to the N Greasy Boys. Their major drop is going to be on Friday, March 13th. They're going to be hitting all other platforms. Right now, you can catch up on Amazon Prime. Hey, Lewis. So let's check that out. And then we're going to check out a trailer for our guest tonight.
All right, here we go.
Oh, fuck. What does this guy want?
I think the best way to describe this film is a combination between Clerks and Friday the 13th. So if you like horror comedy, strong on the comedy, and you like a good relentless slasher, you're going to love this film. But without further ado, we want to bring on the Addams Family tonight, you guys. We're going to check out their trailer for Mother of Flies and then bring them on for a good time.
Here we go.
They came begging, bent in shame, trampling their faith on the path to my thorns.
You ever heard of a lady named Solvig?
Solvig the Witch? Yeah, everybody around here knows her. She can trick death.
Dad? She's right. I'm basically dead. Science tells me I'm dead. And she's telling me I don't have to be. I don't want to be dead yet.
Life is rhythm. The heart, the drum. But death knows only silence.
I want to do this. I know it sounds like a scam. I doubt it will even work. But I gotta try.
For 3 days, you and I just need to pretend.
Your curse is my gift. To woo death, one must love it, lie with it. For 3 days, give your beating, bloody heart to it, till death grows ears, till death grows warm, till an ember sparks, the dead drum thumps, and the blood of light floods in.
There it is, you guys, and welcome Addams Family Films to this show. We have John, we have Toby, we have Lulu. Thank you so much for joining us. We cannot wait to talk about this film.
Yeah, very great, very cool Hallmark vibes coming from that film for sure.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Hey,
You
thanks,
nailed it
guys.
on the head. You guys,
So
thanks for
this
having us.
Yeah,
This is
definitely. So we have to let everybody know, obviously, this is available on Shudder. If you have not checked it out, you need to watch it, you guys. And for those viewers who yes, racing the cover on the Indie Horror Junkie magazine
Love
issue
it.
21. And thank you guys again for being a part of the magazine with us. That means so much. And it's so cool to have you and this film on there. Like we said, we're longtime fans. This is your second time on the show. And we're just so grateful and also just very excited. It's exciting for us to see filmmakers continuing to grow and just exceed expectations and take these films to levels that we're all, really striving for. So it's a really beautiful thing what you guys are doing. It's so beautiful because you get to do it as a family, and it's so
Yeah.
fun to watch. I was watching last night, and I'm like, look at them. Like, we have the daughter and the mom, and I can see her and both of you. And I'm like, what a beautiful thing to make this movie together as a family. So there's so much to get into as far as that. But for our viewers who don't know who you are, who is Addams Family Films?
Toby, who's Adam's Family Films?
Well, we're a mom and dad and 2 daughters, Lulu and Zelda. And we've been making films since 2010, and we just fell in love, gobsmacked in love from the get-go. And yeah, that's who we are. We live in a crazy, kooky house, and we go crazy making films and loving each other.
Now, how did you guys get into the filmmaking? Whose idea was it? Were you guys just a lover of horror as a family? Was it always a genre that you were drawn to and just really loved watching? Was it who kind of initiated, like, hey, let's make a movie?
Yeah, that's a great question. And you also said something really important about horror. We basically started making movies because we were running out of money at the time. Toby was, her career just wasn't going where she wanted it to. You know, it's trying to get movies in the industry and things like that. And she's a great writer. So she wrote a script, and we bought an RV, and we lived in the RV, and we learned how to make movies together. Lulu was 10. Zelda was about 5. And we all just learned together. And that's, I think, what the most magical thing about what happened there was these young girls and her parents all learned together. And what was cool about that is different ages bring different artistic styles and different thoughts to things. And so they were teaching us as much as we were teaching them. But I think the big turn of everything came when we made our first horror movie. Remember that? And it was a winter like this. We were bored. Toby was writing a script, and Zelda and Lou were like, let's make a horror movie, because we had made 4 dramas. And we were like, yeah, let's make a horror movie. And we fell in love with that art form. And then we fell in love with the horror community. So there's kind of no going back. And we're all lucky to be here together.
Well, the thing about the horror community, and you kind of nailed it, was it's really easy to fall in love with. There's nothing like it. And there's such a platform through the conventions, through the film festivals. And once you kind of get into that world, you're meeting other people, you're expanding your network, and you're learning, and you're making those contacts. You're like, oh, okay, well, if I do this, then I can get there. And if I do this, then I can get there. And then you're constantly learning and evolving to the point of where you've adapted, that you know this business so well. So then if you can do what you guys did, specifically with Mother of Flies, you had already learned that business, since 2010. And so when you were able to create something at this level, you already knew exactly what to do with it, I feel like. And I think that that's something that a lot of filmmakers fail to do, especially, indie specifically, is they don't learn the business. And they're not boots on the ground with their film, hitting these film festivals and making the contacts and learning what to do with it, because a lot of people make a movie and let it die. And there's really good, filmmakers out there, but they just don't know what to do with it. So what was that journey like for you from starting, from ground level to building up, making your first film, getting into horror, and being a part of that community and learning how to get to where you're at now with the Shudder original?
I'll say a big part of it is the film festivals. We realized right away that film festivals were just crucial to our narrative, because that's where you make friends, that's where you meet people, that's where you see other films, you're constantly learning. But more than anything, like you said, you feel like you're becoming part of a community, which eventually feels like a family, particularly within the horror realm. And it's important to note, too, our very first film was meant to be a very, very fucking dark ghost western. Like, brutal. And
Too brutal.
We realized, we can't really, I don't know if our first time out of the gate, we should be doing a western, so we modernized it, we contemporized it. And then we started shooting it, but we got to the place where we were going to have to kill the kids, and we were driving in our RV, because we took it off for a year in our old Harvey the RV, homeschooling, keeping this film. We're getting to the scene where we're going to have to kill the kids. And John turns to me, he's like, Toby, I got to tell you something. And I knew what he was going to say, because I felt the same way. And he's like, I just I just don't want to kill the kids. And I was like, I don't want to kill the kids either. Fast forward a few years, we were ready to start killing the kids. And we feel like we sort of like earned our place in like making genre films. It just made sense to us, and then once we did, it was like falling in love. And so the biggest part about that really was the community, getting to know people from the magazines, going to horror festivals, doing any interview, anyone who wants to talk to us. That's still part of our big success, if you want to call it that, is just the love we feel for what we're doing and everyone around us who's also doing it. You guys, like the clock was so great, and I could feel that family vibe in that as well. I wish I could show you the cool creepy clock hanging above our heads. But I felt that watching your film as well. It just that's the juice, that's the mojo.
I love that. Now, speaking of killing the kids and you writing, who in this group of family members has the most twisted ideas?
Ooh,
what do you think,
great.
Lou?
No one's ever asked that question.
Rick and I were on the phone the other day because we're working on a project and there's this kill. And I started describing to him very intensely of what I wanted to do there. He's like, Amy, oh my God, like what's wrong?
I know.
And I'm like, I want to hear it every sound. But yeah, I mean, some people are just sick and can go there. And I want to know which one of you guys is the sickest.
What you're saying right now, and Lulu should answer who's the sickest, but what you're talking about is the art of horror, though. Like, it's sick, but it's art. Like, I love watching the art of horror. Now I sit and I watch, how does somebody get their head cut off? What does it sound like? How did they do it? Why did they do it? It is art. That's why we're all here together, because ultimately it's talking about even more metaphoric things generally, So it is an art form that we've come to just totally love, all of us together. We're always talking about the art of some kill, like it's great. But who do you think's the sickest?
It's almost a hard one. It's more like who's the sickest in what way. But I think everyone here is very romantic about how they think about different things. Like Zelda might be very meticulous, and Toby's very meticulous as well about very intentional kind of ways of killing someone and offing them. But I'd say John has the highest suggestion ratio of people getting
I'm gonna debate that.
Okay, debate.
She's gonna kill you right now for giving me the
last.
I think I'm catching up.
You are catching up. I think Toby used to feel more guilty about kills, and now she doesn't have any guilt at all. She's like, we're gonna kill that person.
This and that.
Yeah. No, but I mean, I think I've had some twisted ideas. I think yours. I think yours are more doable. I think mine sometimes are just so outrageous that it's just like imagination, but not procreation.
But you guys are doing everything beginning to end, and that's something I really want to touch on tonight. You guys are writing, directing, producing, acting. You're doing the score. You're editing. You're promoters and PR. You're doing all of it, which is just so damn amazing, because that's the honest to God truth of independent horror. But to do it with this kind of film, how do you balance the business side and the pre-production side, and you're also directing but you're acting, and everything is so intense in this film. I got to know how you guys balance that. Rick and I work together, but we've never been in front of the camera and behind the camera at the same time, but we're getting ready to do that later this year, and it's a big leap for us. How do you guys manage all of that and still maintain that level of being grounded while you're on set?
Oh, that's a great question. But here's I think a good answer for that question, which is a day like today. We wanted to shoot some stuff. Lulu came over at 11 with her boyfriend, but it was too sunny. We don't like shooting in the sun. So we all just had lunch together. And we waited for the sun to go away, but the sun didn't go away. So I edited. Lulu hung out and read stuff. And then when the sun went down, I said, "You guys, let's get your uniforms on, your whatever it's called, wardrobe on. I want to do a couple kills out in the snow because we have all this great snow." And we've actually we've made our truck into a sheriff's truck, and like we're a little nervous about getting arrested. So like we have to do, like, we have to get the truck out on the road like at very particular times. Toby's looking at me like, shut the fuck up. So it's like, so we went and we did a whole bunch of like stunts with the truck in the snow that went really well.
Yeah.
Daisy was with us, but I put her in the truck so she wouldn't get hit.
Yeah.
And then we went off to Walmart to buy some just some props for a scene that we're shooting in a funeral home tomorrow. And Lulu and I went. Toby threw in some chicken, did a whole bunch of interviews, and it's just fun. And then she's like, "Remember, 8:00, we're rocking." And here we are again. It's fun. And I think the whole key to all this is that it's fun and that we really enjoy this community that we're a part of. Like, we really, like, I think Toby and I and Lou and Zell say every day, we're so lucky.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think the easier question is there anything you guys don't do on your movies?
Get paid.
Well, that's the essence of indie filmmaking right there.
Right.
Are you guys all self-taught?
Yep. Oh,
But
well.
this lady studied. We're all self-taught and I think learned around the same time. But this lady is the one who went to school and studied it and has done all the theater and shows you could think of. So Toby's very eloquent in that, but you've also added on so much to that.
Oh, thanks. No, I mean, I went to acting school, but I think the education was just being on a set, you know, and I'm learning right next to Lulu and John, really. I'll tell you one thing we don't do is we don't do lighting. So we just rely on natural light.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why we spend a lot of time outside, and we wait. We have a motto: we're waiting on a cloud, because we like to shoot in flat light. Like John said, we don't like the sun, and so we spend a lot of time together, just hanging out, waiting on the damn clouds, the beautiful clouds, and sorry, clouds. And yeah, but we don't do like artificial lighting. That's just something that's not in our wheelhouse.
That's fascinating. I would have never guessed.
I never guessed that either. Yeah.
I mean, especially watching Mother of Flies, because I mean, yes, there's a lot of shots that are dark, but they're dark with intent. But the lighting that is there seems very also intentional.
Yeah. That's
but
amazing.
It's just by happenstance you get these shots.
No, we're super aware of the light at this point. I think our first couple movies, we had the learning curve of, we had some criticism on our cinematography, about the first two movies because we didn't know anything. Luckily, people were good to us and were kind of like, you should make another one. But I think slowly we learned what we like the cinematography we like and the tone that we like. And basically the answer to that is flat light is your best friend, and then available light. So always set the camera up, always set the scene up near a window.
There you go. I mean, you guys freaking nailed it. Everything was so dark and mystic and spot on with the cinematography and the color grade and how you guys incorporated the score. I mean, because I know that you guys do all these things. When I'm watching it, I'm like, damn, like they nailed it with that music right there. And like, you guys know what you're doing. And it's just, it's such a fun watch. Speaking of, the clouds and relying on the flat light, where was this location that you guys shot at?
Yeah.
Which location? Like, you mean just the whole movie?
Like, where was the location that you guys filmed Mother of Flies? Because it was gorgeous.
Yes.
Stunning.
Our yard.
And we're like the house that you see, Solveig's house with the trees coming out of it, is actually the house we're in right now.
Oh my God!
You
Really?
gotta be kidding me.
That's
Do you guys take house guys?
Yeah, but we always
Only
say
if
we
you're
have
dead.
to kill them.
Yes, yeah.
Done.
But our wonderful effects wizard Trey Lindsay, he's the one who paints in composites in the trees going through the house, the roots.
Oh.
The interior of the house was John's sister's barn, and we just carried up a bunch of bark from trees that had just been logged, and we just carried them up. John would kind of nail them into the walls, and then Trey would come in and put in the roots. So
And we brought the moss up, and we brought the ferns up for the dream sequences. So it was like really fun. We're lucky we have like barns available to us. Like my sister has this own barn that nobody uses. So.
And the witch's tit, the big rock cairn, is right down in our yard here, which John built. John's really great at building rock walls. And so that tit right now is really like curving. It's going to be interesting in the snow to see if it survives. But it's beautiful.
That is insane. That's truly impressive.
Really is. Yeah, that's amazing.
Toby, what inspired you to write this story? Because it's deep, it's symbolic. It is so, there's so like this is a rewatch, you guys. You're not going to catch it all the first time around. Number one, you just want to rewatch it because it's so damn good. Number two, you want to rewatch it because you're being fed so much. Where did this come from?
Well, thank you. And I think it really is a family effort. We're all kind of devising what the story is going to be, and we're discovering a lot of it as we go. And I always say John has a super witchy, he's got some witchy DNA in him, which is really cool. So it was fun kind of seeing that intuitive side of his come out. But really the genesis of it is, so John and I have had cancer, 2 different kinds of cancer. John's was 30 years ago now.
Yeah, this
which
boy's
is beautiful.
been alive a lot
More
longer
than
than
30
he's
years.
supposed to be.
It's so great. And then mine was 8 years ago. And then we discovered right before we were shooting Mother Flies that Zelda carries the same genetic predisposition for certain cancers that I have. And then and so we thought, it might be empowering to not sit on these truths and just tell a story about it, revisit these truths, but under our own terms and through the beautiful lens of horror cinema. And that's what we did. And it was incredibly cathartic. And a lot of the conversations in the film are smack dab out of conversations we have had as a family for years. And so it was neat to see Zelda channel those conversations through her character, Mickey, who's facing this deadly diagnosis. It was quite poignant. And then we always deal with these things with a lot of humor. And then you have someone like Lulu, we were lucky to have for a few days, and she got to play, do that great scene in the hotel and bring that sense of humor as well. And that's how we live. We laugh at all the darkness.
I mean, that's the only way you're going to get through that kind of stuff. I personally went through that with my dad. I lost him to cancer, but I remember him first getting diagnosed, and we decided as a family with him, to do a lot of holistic medicine with him. And I felt like that gave him a lot more time. It really did. From his prognosis state from the doctors and him doing holistic treatments, he lived well beyond what his prognosis was. And I think it had attributed to that. So watching this was always very moving to me, because there were moments between the family that resonated with me, that I understood, not completely, on the same level, but in a way, and the journey that the father and the daughter took together, and, you letting your daughter make that choice for herself, because I'm a firm believer that when you are sick in that way, it's that person's choice, and it has to be their choice only. And the family has to be supportive of that. And that's just what I learned on my journey. So to see this play out in the way that you guys wrote it and delivered it in this story was also very beautiful and artistic and touching, and just such an amazing, amazing job.
Well, thank you. I also believe something that you said is really important, which is, your father and you and your family wanted to try holistic medicine. And another thing that went into all that is love. And that's something that we really wanted to bring into this film, is the love of people, no matter how dark times are, that love of light that light of love really shines, and that has immense power. You know, Solveig's love in this movie is much different than my love, but we're both loving children, our children, and we'll do anything to get one more minute out of them. And it doesn't matter whether it's your father or your child. It's a story about love, and it was really fun to. That's what's great about horror is the horror community is so open-hearted and so open-minded that we can all talk about something like this, dressed in blood and magic, and here we are talking about each other's lives, and that's the beauty of it all.
I mean, that's what you guys did with this film. It is full of love, and that's what I felt watching it. That was a really big tone for me, was just undeniable, inseparable love, no matter what. Like, there's no time and place that can separate that kind of love. But another thing I want to touch on was the little stick right here that you used in your killings. I don't want to forget to talk about that. I was curious to know, when you guys watch this, which you're gonna watch it tonight on Shudder at 9:01 p.m. Whose idea was this? And I mean, obviously, it looks like something you made, I'm assuming, but is there also symbolism in that design, or can we talk about it, or is that for us to figure out?
Toby, take it away.
I think it's either a hawthorn tree or a honey locust, and we have them on our property, and these thorns are just like sinister little things. I mean, when you get pricked by them, you feel like you get a little jolt of poison that burns for a little while. But they're gorgeous. I have them hanging right now from our window. I think that for Solveig as a necromancer, there is something beautiful about these thorns because they're sharp and prickly, and they seem very dangerous, but their goal is to protect. That's what a thorn is for. You know, like you think of a rose. The rose is so beautiful, then you have these beautiful thorns. The thorns are there to protect something. And I think Solveig is very protective of her right to have, back to what you said, Amy, the love that she's chosen. And what she's trying to be reunited with over the centuries. And also, if you think of just a tree, you know, a tree is such a beautiful symbol. You know, it goes deep down into the earth. It has deep roots. And the thorn is what kind of lasts through the winter, you know, through hardships. It almost looks dead, but it's deadly, you know? And so
Nice.
That's what I think about that. I think John presented it, and it was just so brilliant. It was like, oh my God. And someone wrote today an interesting thing. They're like, you know, in this, there's a scene where Solveig saves a young woman's life. She performs a cesarean to let out a stillborn baby and therefore save the woman's life. And in essence, it's just like a very primitive cesarean surgical tool. I can't wait for my sister, who's an OBGYN, to get a load of this film.
It is the scalpel in which she worked with.
Yep.
I told you guys
Yes.
there's a lot of symbolism in this movie. I'm telling you, it's just
Yeah, there's a lot of subtext in this film. It's
layered, which
really impressive.
I love.
And
I'm
love
like,
of science.
what
I
was
mean,
that?
there's a love of science. Like you nailed it, Lance, that this is like a scientific tool, but it has a different look. And in Solveig's science, through necromancy, is still a science. Like she'll mention Hippocrates, the great Hippocrates, you know, the father of medicine. We had scenes we cut out where she talked about Jesus and the magic of walking on waves. I mean, I think she, like many women in history, has been maligned because she knew so much ahead of her time. And if you think of a lot of the classic witches who were dying and being hanged and maligned just because they knew things, you know, people were afraid of their knowledge. And I think Solveig really represents that. And
I love that.
last thing too, sorry, John's so good about talking about this, about how, you know, when you think about modern Western medicine with chemo and radiation, those are, John has a great way of saying that they're like magic potions, you know, and its own kind of magic. And even though Solvig is you know, a folk practitioner, she too, I think, is kind of heralding modern science. And that's, and the magic that even today we survive, whether it's holistic medicine or whether it's chemotherapy or and radiation. It's really like a love song to the magic that keeps you alive. Now
something that I really love. No, thank you for all of that, because I love hearing all of this from you guys, because like I said, there's so much in this film, and there's like, I have pages of questions over here. Y'all would think I was nuts because I just couldn't stop coming up with questions. But there was a scene where you were pouring the water and you were saying it was holy water just because you wanted to know if you know, this young girl, if she believed. And that really hit me as well. And there's just a lot. That was a moment that was so impactful, because you're like, okay, you believe, so let's go. And that's a big part of that journey of being sick, is just having that blind faith. And
that's right.
I thought that you guys did a really beautiful job giving that to the audience and reminding them that that's true, you know. Rick, we have some. Oh, go ahead.
No, please, you go ahead.
We just have some images of this beautiful film I would love to throw up on the screen whenever you get a chance, Rick. And we'd love to hear you guys kind of talk about that scene and what was happening for those who haven't seen it, that are going to watch it tonight.
Yeah, that's this was such a fun shot to make. And then on the other side of this shot, Trey did, I think, one of the greatest effects he's ever done. We always wanted to show the witch in the evenings and in the nights, preparing for the next day, you know, preparing her medicines, preparing her spells. And, you know, she's always surrounded by some element of death, which to her is life. And what's great about, if you look at these horns, they're circled around her, they're holding her, and she's there meditating. So she's at one with death, but she's sitting amongst life. It's really a fun, I love shooting this.
Yeah, the framing on that is incredible.
And I'm still trying to get over that this is all natural lighting too.
Right, exactly.
Oh, yeah. If we had put a light on it, it just would have sucked. That's the. It was
a perfect cloud.
There, Toby, what are you doing there? It looks like you're looking at me, angry.
Did you touch my salad I made over 3 hours?
So what's fun about this image is well, here's another one. Yeah. What's fun about this image here is this is a story about a doubter too, but someone who is, even though he doubts, he loves his daughter so much, he has to take a chance on this. And she doesn't like his doubt, because as you said before, when you go through hard issues like cancer or like any disease that's really tough on you, you have to have faith in whatever you're doing, because positivity is half of the battle.
Yes.
And she doesn't like his lack of positivity.
Right. That's why she gives him the extra special tea with the zip in it.
This was a fun day to shoot. This was in John's sister's dark barn, and the thorn, and on the other side of that little cairn of thorns was there were a bunch of mice that had died. We find a lot of dead animals where we live, and we kind of think, you know what, they're dead. Let's give them a beautiful like second wind on screen. And so she's practicing her necromancy in this scene when the door knocks and the women from the village come to seek her help.
And that statue of thorns, or that temple of thorns was remember building that? That was really fun. And again, the whole deal of just set your setup right next to a window. That's right next to a barn window and a barn table and bones that we've just found. The one on the right is a goat's head from my cousin who also was the snake handler. And it looks so good.
It does.
Just the fact that you guys are using elements off your land and in the make. I'm just mind blown. It's just so cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Hey,
And
it's
there
Lulu.
she is. Lulu, what happened?
That is also thanks to my aunt. It's also so funny seeing all the different haircuts. This one is also my aunt's hotel. She's got this kind of old abandoned hotel that she kind of adopted. And there's this great little side cabin that we've used in our movies multiple times. So you've probably seen this in other of our films of different little spaces that we've changed up. And so we brought these lamps, which we have in our house here right next to us. That's our light on our faces now.
Oh, so yeah, we're a bit of a liar because we said we never use light, but that is a carpenter's light from when I used to do carpentry hung over her head. So we're big fat liars. There's some light.
Okay.
Light,
Yeah,
yes.
we lied. And the light of the lamps next to it. So damn it.
And sometimes we use flashlights.
Oh man, it's all coming out now.
Oh Jesus! We have to get our shit down. It's a good thing we're not like under investigation right now.
Yeah, don't worry about it. It's not live. We'll edit this out, right? So okay. Look at that.
Yeah. Yep. So
National
this is
light.
always, yeah. This is always shoot when we want nighttime stuff. We shoot once the sun has set because it gives you blue light in the first place. So like when you color correct it, you don't have to fake that blue light.
Right.
You just add a little bit of cold tone into it. And this was a beautiful evening. We shot all this whole scene together with Zelda walking around with bare feet actually that day. She wanted to walk around with bare feet to make it honest. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And that was the car lights.
Yes.
The headlights of the car.
Exactly. Backlit by the headlights of the car because we actually did dig that ditch. So we had dug this ditch and we parked the car right next to it and the headlights were on Z. And then we definitely cheated flashlights across her face to light it up. But boy, I don't know. I just love the last scene, the coloring of it. We didn't know what the fuck we were doing, but it really looked really neat to us.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Uh-oh, who's that guy? So the hardest part about this is carrying up those thorny trees. That's where we get the thorns from.
Yeah, there's
that's
the
what
thorns,
her, like her wand is right there sticking at me, you know.
We don't have
this
those
is
in
him.
Florida.
No.
Yeah, those are real northern nasty little trees. They're more like weeds. Like all this land was logged a long time ago, and those things came up first. They're basically like real tough tree weeds.
But don't worry, in Florida, you have pythons and alligators.
Yeah, like 30 foot one.
Lots of snakes. I just had a snake in my bedroom a couple weeks ago.
What kind of snake?
It was just a black racer, but I swear I woke up, I got a thing of coffee, I came back, I was gonna go work out. So I was making sure, you know, my AirPods and my Apple Watch was plugged in, and I looked down at the floor and I have very dark tile wood floor, and I was like, I don't know what that is curled up right there. I don't have anything like that. And I let my eyes adjust a little bit more, and I was like, oh, that's a fucking snake. But I had a plastic shoebox kind of, and this thing was very docile too. Just slammed the shoebox over top of it and put a fold underneath it and looked at it and said hello and then took it outside. But
that's odd because black racers are usually like stupid aggressive. Like they're harmless, but they're stupid aggressive.
I think this thing had been living in my bedroom for a while because the weather was nice. So I would open up the slider doors at night. I like when the weather's cool because we don't get it that much. So it was so familiar with me and so unafraid.
It's probably like, what the hell did you throw me out for?
I did feel bad.
Having a slumber party.
I did feel bad. I said goodbye because he was kind of chill and nice, but I knew that he wasn't a threat to me. I mean, I've had pygmy rattlers and you know, coral snakes out here. I know what to stay the hell away from, but it was still a little bit, threw me off a little bit to see it next to my feet.
Yeah, but knowing what we know now, we probably should have boxed it up and given it to Toby. She'd put it to good use in the film.
Now I know.
Love it.
Now I know.
They would not like this weather though.
And here's one of my favorite pictures. Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that.
I'm telling you, Oscar performance right there.
That's right. That's me after having my first cup of tea.
He is a talented puker, and then like
Very good.
I mean, he is amazing.
So the mix for puking was refried green beans and chocolate sauce, and then also strawberry sauce. And then I swallowed it, and it was fucking awful. And out it came. And Toby filmed it, and she just kept rolling.
So practical,
You committed.
practical vomit.
Full on committed. I was like, this homie can throw up on camera.
Yeah, now we know it was real.
Well, also, once when you start throwing up, like you can't stop sometimes because it's like that taste was in my mouth. It just, and then I saw the vomit, and it just was like it just kept going, and Toby kept filming, and we kept going. And
that is method acting taken too far.
Yeah.
Speaking of snakes, that was on my list to ask you about, was that snake and you reaching in and grabbing the egg. I was like, oh my God, Zoe, be careful.
Yeah.
You had a snake wrangler there? How did you guys film that
Because the snake was facing you, and like I'm thinking she's gonna get bit.
I was like, this is full on nuts, but let's go.
I'm gonna send you a video because yeah, that's John's cousin Shane. That's his snake. He has two snakes, and he said one of them is like piss mean, and the other one's super friendly. So we're like, let's use the friendly ball python named Cooper. And I gotta tell you, like, well, we used a green screen to get and like a green pipe, and Cooper would just kind of like do his thing by going through the pipe and the slits in the green screen. But the stuff where I lie down on my side, I was really lying down on the ground on a rock, and that snake was just going towards my mouth.
Yeah, it was great. I was filming her that day, and it took a little while for the snake to realize, oh, I want to go in Toby's mouth. So Toby sat there for quite a while until finally the snake kind of lined up on that mouth and was like, started slithering at it. And I was like, oh my God, it's going to go in her mouth. It's going to go in her mouth. This is amazing. And right when it was about to go in her mouth, Toby's like, ah! And I got too carried away. Toby, it was almost in your mouth. And she's like, no shit. So, but that's the shot we used. It really looked great.
It's the shot is. And you just did it with a little green screen wiggly thing?
Well, that was really the green screen was just more, I think, to kind of what would we use the green?
The green screen is for when the snake comes out of the mouth and into
my mouth,
and into Zelda's mouth. But we also, the way we did the snake going into the mouth on the rock, like the best shot of all, when the snake really crawls into her mouth. That's just a composite where we let the snake crawl around until it did a really nice crawl. We marked the spot where it ended, and then we put Toby lying down there with her mouth open, so we could have it slither all the way into her mouth. It was so actually we even had to cut that shot because it could have been like a minute long because the snake moved real slow, but that was fun, and it really looked great. That's Trey, our effects guy, who's the genius behind making that look real.
Wow.
That's amazing. And the editing. And I also want to compliment the editing. You guys had some really beautiful transitions in this film. Just gorgeous, intentional, thoughtful, artistic transitions. I don't know where that came from. I don't know if that's something that just you figured out because you were staring at this for so long and you knew exactly what you wanted to do, or was there inspiration behind those transitions?
Yes, sometimes it's fully planned out, and sometimes it's like beautiful luck. Like the diner to the motel swipe was definitely planned out. We worked really hard on that one, but there's other transitions that like there was a fade. Oh, there's a fade from the vision of dead Toby alone in the grave after the puke.
Yes.
And it fades into Solvig starting one of her first medicinal acts on the kid. And that was a really hard transition to go from that whole scene. I couldn't figure out how to get to that next scene. It was too shocking. It didn't feel good until I just tried a fade. And it worked perfect because the image from the dead Toby to the live Toby and the prickly bushes, they just fit like so well together. So I even extended the fade because it just looked so good.
Hell yeah, it looked good. There's just, you guys will know what I'm talking about when you watch it on Shudder.
So one question I did have, tell me a little bit about how this whole Fantasia thing came together, because that to me is mind-blowing.
Yeah.
The first North American film to win Fantasia. I mean, and everything's kind of exploded since then. Tell me how that all came about and how that basically transpired.
Well, this was our 5th film at Fantasia. We had like a real like love, love affair with them since The Deeper You Dig in 2019. That's where we've premiered all of our films, 5 of them in a row at Fantasia. We're so grateful to them and what they've done for us, introducing us to this beautiful world that has embraced us. And we just hope that they'll just have us, forevermore. We love them. We love the people who watch the movies. We love Mitch and the team that runs it. And so this was unbelievable that happened. I mean, I think in 29 years, this was the first American film to win the Cheval Noir and for best film. And it's just like, I remember the moment they announced it. I remember it was like my heart, like just grew 5 sizes, and my chest could not contain it. It was just unbelievable. And it was such a poetic, beautiful, like gift for a place that we love so much, that has done so much. We credit them so much with all of our, our trajectory.
Yeah. This says, I think, more about Fantasia and in fact, like even further, you can go further with this. It says more about the horror community. Like it says this about you guys, which is like acceptance of art. Like ours isn't the shiniest piece of art around. It's not the most awesome, well lit, all these kind of things. But like you guys and like Fantasia, they're open-minded to whether a story hits them, and it's like when we go to Fantasia, they treat us like everyone gets treated the same. Everyone just gets treated the same. And that's what's so great about Fantasia and all these horror festivals. And that's why if there's filmmakers out there, you got to do this because it's a great community. Like getting your art out there, learning about your films, learning about what everybody else is doing. It's relentlessly helpful, and it's great companionship.
Yeah, there's a lot of heart in film festivals, and I say this, a lot of people don't know that Rick and I met at a film festival. Just there, so I think Rick had a film, I was there supporting a film, and we kind of like knew each other through the grapevine on socials. I'm like, hey, you're Rick Danford, I'm Amy, and then he pulled me in for, I think it was the anthology for Halloween, and then we did the clock together. Yes. And Rick started Indie Horror Junkie, and I stuck my nose in it. I was like, what's this? This is so cool. And and then he just got busy, and then we partnered up and just and built this. But it's because we had the love of horror and had the love of community and had the love of filmmaking and creating art. But Rick nailed it on the head. Like there was a gap there for independent filmmakers, and there was there was a lot of elements that we needed to launch ourselves, but they weren't there. And so that's why we created this brand. But, we joined forces just from being out there. And, like I said, I was at a film festival. I don't even think I had a film there that year. It was a local one. And I had a ton of friends that had films and want to go and support. So if you guys are serious about, this business and getting your film to the next level, listen to the Addams Family network and, believe in yourself enough that you can put your art out there, and it's subjective whether people are like it or not, but you have to take that leap of faith. And that's what you guys did, and look what the hell happened. You landed on Shudder. What was that like when you guys found out you're going to be a Shudder original? I got to know.
Oh, amazing. I mean, Shudder's treats us like what we are, which is a tiny family. Like, they don't ask for us to change. They don't ask, like, they're so supportive of who we are. They know that we love doing festivals. So they're like, yeah, go do the festivals, and your movie's going to come out here. So, you know, do your thing, be you. And it allows us to, you know, it really allows us to keep going, because as soon as we sold this to Shudder and got their support, we started our next movie. You know, it's like you buy a couple beans, but mostly you buy, you know, you just go right into the next movie. You know, it's great.
That's awesome.
Beautiful. I don't know if this question is different for everybody, but I had to ask, just because you guys touched on so much with the writing and the symbolism and just dealing with real world issues in such a beautiful way. Was there one scene that you felt like this is the heart of the movie?
Great question.
Great question.
It is a great question.
It could be different for all of you, you know, your own experiences and your own journey with those characters in that story.
I mean, I know what scene stuck out to me.
I would love to hear that.
Which I want to know yours, Lance.
Yeah, what's yours, Lance?
I mean, truthfully, it was the conversation between the father and the daughter about, you know, them not really knowing and understanding what the other one's going through. I think John's character said something like, "Oh, we're in this together," and Lulu was like, "Well, we're not." And I think that's something that gets overlooked in real life, is you often say stuff like that. But like when my mom was going through cancer, I have no idea what it's like to go through chemo. But she also doesn't know what it's like to be a son watching her have to go through that and ultimately, you know, pay the price in the end. You know, that's what stuck with me, probably because I had just recently lost her to cancer. But I think it's something, like I said, that gets overlooked a lot. You know, we say things like that, but it's like we don't really know what the other person's going through. We don't really know and feel what that is.
Yeah, to me, I think mine is a little different because it's not really a particular scene. It's what I kept hearing in my head. And that's when I was listening to the song Baron. And I kept hearing that. And it's like that just like drilled into me. You know what I'm saying? It was hard because I was imagining so many different things and stuff and feeling the pain in that song when you were singing it. So that's what really got to me. That sticks out of my head right now.
Oh,
I think I kind of already mentioned one of my favorite moments, and it was and it was such a simple scene. And I'm going to go back and watch and have a million more of them, but the holy water.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of people, we all have different faiths and beliefs, but when you go through something, you are literally on your knees asking for any kind of guidance and to whatever that source of oneness is for you that you believe in. You have to believe. Like that is what gets you through anything. And that was such a simple scene, but at the same time, it wasn't. It had so much weight to it. And I felt like a lot was built around that at the same time. And another thing that I loved that I forgot to mention, I want to bring it up, and this might be a good time, was whenever you guys would like kind of cut to the trees and you'd hear that the whistling in the tree. And for me, and you guys did it a couple times, and I was like, this is a reminder that no matter what you're going through, the world keeps turning.
Yeah.
And
that's
something that you deal with when you're going through something, is you feel so isolated. And sometimes you feel like everything around you just keeps moving and that no one knows what you're feeling here or going through, but everything else is spinning. And that's something you have to overcome. But the wind and the trees, I was like, damn, they did it again. But that was just moving. That could have just been my own internalization of what I was watching and seeing. But we just have a few minutes left. I want to know what it was for you guys.
I know mine is, this is a slight spoiler. So if you don't want to get spoiled, don't listen to mine. It's when she gets killed at the and stoned to death and buried alive. She's basically reciting a beautiful poem about how much she loves life. as she's dying a very brutal, inhumane death. And that to me is the point of the movie, which is we use the word brutal. Life is brutal. And that is just the way it is. And it's like Lance, you said before, you can come up with a million Hallmark slogans like we're in this together. But in the end, life is brutal. It hurts, but I love it.
Wholeheartedly agree.
Yeah.
I love this scene. It's really in voiceover, but the camera's in the grass, and there's a daddy long leg that crawls across the camera in the grass, and the shot is just teeming with minuscule life. And then in the background, blurred out, is the father and daughter, you know, Jake and Mickey walking, and they're having the conversation, the very dark humor conversation about like, well, she says, "What are you going to do if I do die?" Essentially, he's like, "Well, I'll just have to chase you." And then he goes into this tirade about the 7 ways he'll do, you know, suicide. And that is that's some black dark humor. But that is the kind of way that we deal with the dark things. We have to laugh at them. And so I love that scene because I think it really represents who we are. And I remember the day we shot it, and it was just came out of conversations we had in trying to, you know, honor both life and death. And so that for me is a pretty potent scene.
You guys made it so relatable.
Thank you. I'm going to change my answer because I was going to say the one that you said, Lance. I love that one. But because I want to highlight this other one is one early on where Zelda, her character, talks about with John. They're sitting outside a hotel, and they talk about how she would always throw up when she was, you know, or not always, but talking about her throwing up when she was a kid on her mom there at the time. And her mom being like, "No, it's beautiful. I love your throw up. Like, it's your throw up." And that is something that you've said to us so many times. It could be the nastiest fart, whatever. Toby's like, "I love it. It's your fart." And I felt like there was just so much of both you guys in that. There's already so much in the story, but that one was so directly a chunk just taken off and put in that scene. And I really love that one. I think that one
because there's a huge theme, and it keeps coming back to love, and that's what you guys delivered. And I think all these moments are different parts of, you know, love that we felt, but I think another just big word to come back to is love. But we love you guys. We love this film. We love everything that you're putting into your art. So thank you for making this and getting it out there for all of us to watch and enjoy. You guys can find Adam's Family on social media if you guys want to plug your socials real quick, and then we'll kick you back to the green room and say goodbye to you in just a second.
Adams.family.films is our Instagram. You can always write us there. We always write back. We love talking to everybody. So that's a great place to communicate with us. And then the 3 of us are all on Facebook. John Adams, Lulu Adams, Toby Poser.
So and I got to thank you. Can I just say one more time?
Absolutely.
You guys are such a beautiful, profound, like you really just like nailed everything we could want people to absorb from our film about the duality of the sisterhood of life and death and the beauty and peace and acceptance, and yet will to like rail against death when it calls for it. You just nailed that duality so beautifully in this magazine, and I can't thank you. We can't thank you enough.
And the quality of this is phenomenal. You know, like this is talk about love and talk about art. No, I'm serious. I mean, this is so high quality. It's so beautiful. This is what it's all about.
Thank you.
I think I can speak for Rick and I both when I say it means so much to see you guys holding it and loving it so much, because that's all that we want. Every time we get to mail a magazine out, we're like, oh my God, someone's going to read it. Physically hold it and read it. That's so cool.
Yeah, and to us,
Rick and I, who, you know, are pulling in the content and keeping our eye on what's going on. And, you know, it's just so cool for us to see you guys enjoying it. So thank you for being a part of that issue number 21 with us. It's very, very exciting to feature Mother of Flies on the cover, that beautiful image. And for, you know, people and, you know, love of indie horror, they get to read about you, through this magazine. So thank you guys for being a part of Indie Horror Junkie on the podcast, the magazine. We just love and respect you as artists and creatives. And we're so thankful that you joined us tonight. You guys check them out on Shudder, Mother of Flies. Check them out on socials, Adam's Family on Facebook. We're going to kick you backstage real quick. Don't go anywhere. We're just going to end the show and then say goodbye to you then. So thank you guys again for hopping on with us.
Peace,
Love you.
everybody. Thanks.
All right, we'll chat with you in just a moment.
Okay.
That could easily have been a 2-hour show. I had a bunch of questions and stuff like
I
that.
have like pages of questions. It's okay. I'll just annoy them on Instagram. No, I'm kidding. But thank you guys all for tuning in. If you want to continue to support the Junkies, head over to YouTube, like and subscribe. Head over to Shudder, watch Mother of Flies, and we'll see you guys next week for another episode of the Indie Horror Junkie podcast.
See you next Wednesday.